thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Welcome back, listeners, for episode 256 of the Massenomics podcast. We are the lifting podcast about nothing, and of course, this is recorded from western northeast South Dakota. My name is Tanner.
And my name is Tommy.
Kind of got a lot of things to say right at the beginning there. It's a run down the list of what episode it is, where this is recorded from, and what my name is. That's a lot of stuff to remember.
Name, location,
age, sex, location.
That whole thing.
Old chat room talk. Do we want to hear about today's sponsors right off the bat?
I thought you would never ask.
Okay, good. Today's show is brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large has set a new standard for customer service within the strength world. They have live website chat support and speedy email responses. Lifting Large is home to the Ground Lock Deadlift Slipper, and they are always in stock and ready to ship. Massenomics listeners can save 20% on all Lifting Large branded products by using our discount code MASS20 at checkout. This episode is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. In 1980, Buddy Cap set out on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he had ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best knurling, and it was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, and world powerlifting records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more, visit them at texaspowerbars.com. Today's show is also brought to you by SPUD Inc. The goal of SPUD Inc. straps is to make products that support sports performance and help everyone achieve their training goals. They make products that last forever, won't bust your budget, and most importantly, leave no doubt about success when everything is on the line. Check them out online at spud-inc-straps.com. And this episode is brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. They're your one-stop shop for all things fitness and online coaching. Whether your goals are training-related, nutrition and body composition-related, or both, Hybrid has a program for you. With dedicated and experienced coaches in each strength and fitness discipline, you can rest assured that you're in the best hands possible. Use our discount code there. It's MASS, M-A-S-S, in all caps. That'll save you 5% off any training or nutrition membership for the life of your membership at hybridperformancemethod.com. Thank you, sponsors. Great to hear from you guys all again. We're going to talk more about Hybrid Performance Method in a roundabout way in this episode, talking about the Hybrid Showdown Meet version 3 that just got wrapped up this week.
Yeah, we'll get to that eventually, Tanner, but we can't talk too much about lifting because we have so much other stuff to talk about.
We do have a lot of stuff this episode. We also have an awesome guest. Mr. Efferding is joining us this week. Mm-hmm. That'll be coming up here about the midpoint, of course. What about this?
Yeah, we should probably start out. We should probably start with the most important thing of this whole episode, which is talking about our own product.
Our new merch. Some of that hot merch.
And by now, by the time you're hearing this has been out launched for several days. So
we didn't really talk about it last. Yeah, I guess I don't know if we'd normally do that or not. This is the episode we would normally talk about it.
Yeah,
because it wouldn't really be released. We wouldn't want people knowing what.
It's like, we haven't released product for a month. I can't remember how we do this now, Tanner. Well, either way, we mentioned it very briefly. We teased it at the end of the last episode, but we have 2 new teas.
Yes.
First one, the Massenomics drinking tea, and we got our beloved skull on the front left chest there, and that's a fan favorite already.
It is.
Flip it to the back side.
Oh, and that's
and
where where the popping starts. That's where all the popping starts.
This
going
is
off.
Pop City back here. Massenomics drinking team established 2014. Lift hard, live easy. We got our drinking skull on there. I mean, that is Massenomics right there.
That screams Massenomics and pop.
And it pops. Like, yeah,
have you ever seen a black and white shirt pop that much?
Ooh, I'd be hard pressed to name a better one than that. But that tea looks really good. And it's got that, it does have that clean, classy look to it.
Yeah, it does.
Almost kind of like a motorcycle vibe a little bit.
Yeah.
You know? That
one that pops.
Like a jacket that pops. So that's one. And then the other one, slightly different for us.
Yeah.
We went with
This is on the midnight blue color.
Yeah, we went with the heathered. Was it midnight blue?
I think they just call it midnight blue, but it is a heathered midnight blue.
Or was it just heathered gray? Was it? Oh, yeah, it is midnight blue. You're right. Yeah, it is crazy how the name of this color just doesn't quite match in my brain.
Yeah.
But we have the Lift Neon. The Neon Lift. and Massenomics established 2014. Both established in 2014.
Yeah, this is the established
Believe
in
it or not.
2014 collection.
Yeah, they're both there, and kind of has the Lift Hard Live Easy neon vibes to it.
It does.
But we brought it to the lift sign.
Yep. And this is the established in 2014 collection, in which we were talking about today. We feel okay to put that on there because it's not like 1 year ago. Like how long does something have to be around before you start?
If it's 2021, you shouldn't write established 2021 because it's just like, well, you didn't have anything else to write, so you put established. You put the same year, like
right.
And then established 2020, like
I feel like that's also not.
I guess
long
maybe
enough.
if the shirt was a 1 year anniversary shirt, maybe then.
Right.
But already it's like, well, it's only been around a year. That's not really anything.
Or like 3 months in this case.
Or technically it could be in this case. But then, okay, 2 years, it doesn't seem long enough. 5 years is for sure long enough.
7 years now, that's the magic number.
That is.
That's where I would say, if you want something to pop, you
go back 7 years.
Yeah, 7 years. That's how you know things are popping.
Yeah, so there we have it. Established 2014, right here, this collection.
And grab them both. Hopefully they're, well, I always say that wrong. Like maybe they're going to be available.
Hopefully
maybe
they're all gone and
yeah.
you lost out
Yes.
and just buy stuff quicker the next time.
Yeah, you big dummies.
So get on that. At this point, we released those on Thursday. So at this point, they've been out for a few days.
Yep.
For sure, several sizes are sold out, though.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Usually someone swoops in on those 4X, the 4X boys, and sometimes the smalls have even
the
been.
4X boys go hard sometimes.
And it
If
doesn't
you're
even make sense.
No, it's like 4X is about
It seems-
5% of the shirts we sell. 4 to 5, roughly speaking, is 4X. But
And the
those
first hour,
five
and the first
people
hour
buy
demand,
them-
they are 90% of the demand.
those 5% that we're gonna sell of each new launch get sold within like
An hour.
and it's not like oh we should be ordering accounting for 10% of the 4XLs because if we do that, those first 5% still sell in the first hour and then they stop.
Yeah, like if someone watched our orders
Yeah.
come in for the first time
They'd be
ever,
like-
they'd be like, you guys need significantly more 4XL because those
Right.
went way too fast. And it's like, nope, the people that buy those just get them right away.
They do.
And that's it.
And we've talked about it before. I think the reason for that is because people that wear 4X are used to having a harder time finding shirts in their size. So when they get used to a company that has those, they like
that
do
could
not screw
accommodate
around.
their needs.
They're
Yeah.
like, I am buying that immediately.
Yep. And we have filled that hole, haven't we, Tanner?
Yes, we have. That's what she said.
Should we crack into a cold one before we get to business here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. This is, Tanner, a what's in the can.
Okay. I thought you were going to say, this is the story of a girl.
Not yet.
Oh, this is a what's in the can.
This is a what's in the can.
So I shouldn't be looking at it.
No looking allowed.
But I should be cracking it open.
Should be crack-a-lacking. Did you notice, Tanner, how on top of our weather being significantly nicer, just it automatically feels like the daylight got 2 hours longer. To me, at least,
It
it
is
seems
nice
like that.
that's been, we have been experiencing longer days.
Those are the types of things I like to talk about when I'm cracking a cold one. You know, the weather, the time, how things are going.
I wondered if I should we should each start doing little industry updates. I could do a little agronomy update once a month or so.
What's going on with the farmers these days?
Commodity prices are up significantly over the last several months.
I have heard that.
But fertilizer prices are also going up pretty drastically right now. So if you need to purchase fertilizer,
You're going to want to get on that.
you're going to want to do it now because the prices are on the rise. They're on the move up. But overall, the general outlook on the economy is positive right now.
People are feeling bullish at the moment.
Yeah, bullish on grain farming. 2020 ended strong, and it's looking like 2021 could probably be the best year for grain farmers in western, northeast, South Dakota in at least 5 years.
That's great.
Yeah. So that is the update, the
Wow.
industry update for the.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Don't have to bother watching the noon news now.
Well, I know now I got a battle between weather and that. It's like there's so many. Okay, so back to the can. I was just stalling while my brain was trying to think of flavors
To just
here.
process.
Let me try one more sip here, though. I think it's like raspberry is one flavor, and then I thought strawberry, and then I wondered if it's strawberry and another flavor like strawberry lime or strawberry banana.
Okay.
Am I on it, making any headway
You're
here?
doing pretty well.
Boy, or could it be like raspberry lime or something like that? I'm gonna say it's strawberry lime.
Okay, well, I will say at one point, I'm not going to say when yet, but at one point you did say the right answer.
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna say, is it 2 flavors or is it 1?
It is 2 flavors.
I'm gonna say strawberry banana. That was my thing.
It's raspberry lime.
Oh,
I'm like, wow, raspberry lime. He did really good.
I actually,
and then you
in all
threw a
my
curveball of strawberry banana.
in all your incoherent ramblings, we are
I
all
thought
now
you were for
stupid.
sure going to go, yep, it was raspberry lime.
Yeah.
You threw me the curveball, Tanner.
I was tiptoeing in the right.
You
tulip
were.
patch, though.
You did say it. You said it.
And for someone, even just to say the right combination,
It's kind of shocking.
yeah, because
But I would assume now, would you say you can taste the raspberry and the lime in here?
I can.
Yeah.
I can. And part of being able to guess that part as a, I didn't actually guess it correctly, as we know, but part of being able to stumble across the right answer, though, is just the more you know these common combinations of
it's gotta
what
be.
they're doing. It's
yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure there's not
lime,
cucumber in here.
limes
so then
in
there's
20% of
probably-
them.
Yeah.
So, you start.
Yeah. But polar. So we have a polar.
Oh, yeah. What is this?
raspberry
What is this?
lime? Which
Yeah.
this is a first.
I don't know anything about Polar.
I believe it's at one of the local grocery stores.
I was going to say, is this a generic?
I don't know if it's. I don't think it's generic. I think it's. I think it's a nationally carried
Okay.
chain.
Oh. I'll be a son of a
Pol-
bitch.
through Polar Beverages in Worcester, Massachusetts.
Okay.
Polar Seltzer.
So let me have one more sip here just to think about ratings. Yeah, I would give this a 3.5. I like it. It's good.
I'm really torn between a 3.5 and a 4 right now.
Yeah. It's good. I like raspberry.
I like raspberry. Lime is always one of my favorite flavors. I'll go 4. I'm going to give it a
Okay.
4. We
So
broke
an
into the
average of
4s.
3.75.
Yeah, there we are. Perfect.
Good refreshing beverage.
Okay. So we do. Damn, we are just Tanner. We're dragging
knocking
it here.
things
Okay,
off the
we
list.
gotta go fast though because we
Yeah.
have a lot to cover. So one of the biggest things in powerlifting news, probably in the last, 9 months, maybe in the last year, because there's been nothing, has been the hybrid meet
Yep.
this past weekend.
Yes.
And the most noteworthy
headlining,
thing, the
yeah.
headlining news is Dan Bell.
Friend of the podcast. Friend of the podcast, Dan Bell. Now, once again, bringing the title of the biggest total of all time, bringing it back to America and
Taking
making
it
us
back.
proud.
So Dan finished the day with a 26.06 total. That's something in kilos, but that's for
Yeah, it's a lot in kilo. I think it
Kilo
was also
people
like
forget.
a 636 Wilks or something. He's even cracked top 10 Wilks of all
has
time.
he? Okay.
Yeah,
So
which is harder to do for people that weigh 400 pounds.
it's very hard.
But you just have to total just ridiculous numbers, I
You
guess,
do.
to do it.
He squatted 1102. It's a monster squat.
And he
third
could have done
attempt.
more.
Yeah.
It really looked like he could have done more.
Yep. He benched 601.
It also looked like he could have done more.
And none of these lifts looked like they
No.
were the limit.
No.
And he deadlifted 904.
Yep.
And so that makes him, the first person to do probably any combination of that, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Has
I would
anyone
guess-
has anyone squatted over 1100
and benched over 600, or what about deadlift over 9 and bench over 6? That would be an uncommon combination too.
Yeah, any of them got to be a very uncommon.
Or squat over 1100.
Yeah,
deadlift
deadlift 9.
Yeah, you can just say any of the combination. Because I heard, he's the first person to squat over 1100, bench over 600, and deadlift over 900. And it's like, yeah, of course, that's what you have to add those 3 up to get to 2600. Like nobody else is
That's
close.
exactly what the biggest total of all time is. The first one to do that.
Right.
So we're super pumped for Dan. That's
He made us proud.
he finally made us proud. Yeah.
We finally now accept him as part.
But that is an insane accomplishment.
very cool.
And it wasn't like he just chipped the total. Like,
No, he
as far as
absolutely
all-time world records go,
smoked
that's
it.
destroying it.
That's putting a number out there that I feel like
Could stick for quite
could
a while.
stick.
Because it wasn't that long ago we were talking like, well, 2,500
Right.
is, really
I feel like that's a number that's going to stick because, boy, for someone to put together, you have to be exceptional at all 3 lifts
Yes, you do.
and then be healthy and then,
Unless Dan's going to make a run at going, which he
but
totally could.
Yeah, he certainly could, but I would guess he wants to maybe chill for a little while after that. Like that was impressive.
Yeah.
What else happened? Oh, Julius Maddox rebroke the bench press world record with 782.
And it was a really clean looking lift too. Like,
Yeah.
easy, clean, like that was a good lift.
So 800 is coming. I think there's without
It's
question.
like you're that far. Come on, 18 more pounds, right?
That's like, what is that even? Would you even notice the difference?
We're talking like, I don't know, what's that? 2%? 2% heavier?
Right.
So I don't think that one's out of reach. And John Hack also set the new 198 total at 2,132 pounds with a 573 pound bench.
Yeah, also a world record.
Doesn't make any sense.
John and Dan both broke the world record totals on their opening deadlift.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, it's crazy.
When you're good, you're good.
Who else? Big Bacon and Beer Bells.
Yep.
Mr. Oldham.
Jonathan Oldham.
Competed. He broke his first 2K plus total. Squatted like 850, benched 424, and deadlifted 8, or I can't remember this exact deadlift number now. If it was 750, I don't know. Whatever adds up to like 20, 22 or whatever his total was. So that was very cool.
Yep. Okay, we never talked about, did we ever talk about Jonathan's video on here of him changing his clothes?
I don't think we did.
Dude, that was such
Instagram
a good
reel
video.
Yeah, ripping. He had the Massenomics his numero uno.
And he ripped it off,
yeah.
and then he had like crop top on.
Yeah.
And then he had the...
No, the numero uno was the crop top.
Oh, yeah, the numero was the crop top. Yeah.
And then he had jorts on, and he ripped those off, and it was a Speedo.
And I did not... Okay, so I watched it and thought it was hilarious. I did not realize until the next day when you told me, when you're like, did you see Jonathan's video?
Yeah.
I thought he had actual like breakaway.
No,
like I didn't realize it was edited that
yeah.
good and set up that good.
Yeah.
And then also I didn't realize until later on when I was reading the comments, because you have to watch that video like 50 times.
Yeah.
That on one of my many repeat viewings that someone's like, oh, I like how the cowboy boots switched out.
Yeah,
Because at one point
yeah.
his footwear changed too.
Yeah.
Like, so damn, props to
Very
Jonathan.
good
That was
video.
a really well done video.
Yeah, I know when we shared that one, he had followers really rolling in from that one.
Yeah.
He was happy to see that.
That was really good. So also I want to say after the hybrid meet, it looked like he had a lot of fun in Florida, and I think he won many best dress awards everywhere he went.
Yes, definitely.
He was styling.
Jamal Browner also competed at the
Yes.
meet. And there, Tom Callis did. There's a whole bunch of friends of the podcast that were there competing, and it just it had as good of a roster of lifters as like
As any major
any meet.
Yep.
Makes me wonder in the future how because I don't know that I necessarily considered the hybrid showdown meet prior to this as like one of the top 3 premier meets, but certainly the lineup that they had this year puts it in that
I think
category.
it's not for a lack of competitors. It was
Right.
probably just the biggest thing being like the U.S. Open versus other ones is just the prize money. I mean,
Right.
that really is the only
Right,
difference.
right, yep.
And some lifters probably do or don't care about that. So it's
Right.
like it probably doesn't matter to some. But
Right.
yeah, it's definitely has its spot as being one of the premier meets.
I
feel
suppose
at this
people
point.
just like going to Miami too. That's
That-
part of it.
that
It's
always makes it
it's
better.
like,
Yeah.
do they want to go to Illinois or Miami?
I'll just wait until Western Northeast South Dakota throws a premier meet. Then
Jefferson
people
deadlift
then
only.
people will really know what it's
Yeah.
about. So that was
that was that.
that was the Miami hybrid. Was it Showdown 3? Is that what they call it?
I think so. Yep.
Yeah. So it looked like they ran a good meet down there.
Yeah.
Okay, now Tanner, we don't have a lot of time to talk about this. I thought we were gonna have way more actually. We have got to talk about, maybe after our guests, maybe we'll even have some more time. Maybe we'll have some unfinished business. But the Massenomics Meme contest. Okay.
Yeah.
So
we have to announce our winners today.
We have to announce our winners. First, we need to talk. We talked a little bit about it last week. I don't even remember completely what we said, so we might say some things twice. But we did not know what we were in for with this one, did we?
Absolutely.
I think we both said it'd be pretty cool if we got to 100 memes.
Yeah.
I think that was one of our conversations.
Right.
It's like, if we cracked 100, that'd be pretty cool.
Right.
And I believe if you type the tag in right now, are we at 397?
Yeah, and I don't know if that accommodates for slideshow
Slides.
posts.
So that one, it wouldn't
Right.
for the ones, because there was a lot of people that did carousels with
Yeah,
5 on it.
carousels,
So Yeah, safe to say we're well over 400 posts.
Yes.
Maybe even closer to 500, depending on how many carousels are. I don't know that number off the top of my head, but there was a lot of content produced. A shocking amount of content produced.
Yes.
We would have never guessed that. There was a surprising number of pages made just for the sake of the contest too, which we would have never guessed either.
Nope. I did not see that coming as a potential idea.
Yeah.
There's just so many parts of it that I just didn't see coming. And it happens every time we do a contest when we're like, here's this contest idea we have. Here's our general expectation of how it might go over and what we might see in return. And then it's always just like completely shatters expectations.
Yeah, and it just like shows again that this is like a thing that's growing outside of what we could ever contain because it just takes a life of its own. And I don't really know what to do. There's just so much to talk about here. I don't really know what to do than maybe kind of start more towards the beginning of like if I go into the tag and go by time, if we just start at the very beginning. So we'll just talk about some highlights of the contest, and then at the end here we'll say the winners. But I think first of all we were shocked with how quick some of the memes started to come out.
Right.
So already
like immediately, as soon as our podcast,
like it was, I don't even know if the podcast had been done for an hour, like from the time it was posted, and there was already memes coming out.
Yeah.
And at Mostly Squat Videos was the very first one on that. And he had the Django Unchained Leonardo DiCaprio with Tanner gets cocky about his performance during What's in the Can. Tommy, I come out with the Ultra Seltzers. Swim Hack was also really quick on the gun there with when Daddy says you could be anything when you grew up, except for his comment. Swim Hack already has that. So, and Turner Austin right away, me rushing out to put out memes for the Massenomics Meme contest before all the inside jokes get drained. I understand. I'm just realizing this right now that reading all these memes out loud probably isn't as funny because the whole point of a meme is to get the picture.
The visual representation.
But the number of jokes, like we thought for sure, we said like, hey, don't do the obvious thing. And there was still jokes made about the obvious things, but they were really, really funny.
They were good.
They were all funny.
Well done.
But the number of things that just went like deep and from different angles, different topics, different things that we wouldn't have expected. It was shocking.
Some of the things that surprised me, but to my delight, were the memes that incorporated us personally, like our faces cut out on stuff. I actually hadn't even registered as a thought to me that
I would have
going to do
never
that.
guessed that would have been a concept.
Right.
That's why I'm pretty sure Scott Dodds was the first one.
Yes.
He said when your dad's friend Tanner finds out you just got your license and he says, haha, call me before you get on the road. So
it is a picture of me.
And that was hilarious.
Yes.
And to me, that kind of opened up the door for all of these memes of us. And quickly, Tanner, you became the crowd favorite with the. Then shortly after that, there was the baked beans, cool beans with the Drake meme from Turner Austin with your face. The format I really liked a lot was the astronaut. I don't even know what you call it, but the astronaut shooting the other one in space.
Always has been. Yeah,
there was some really good ones of that. Cool beans was in there a lot. I think we said this one last week. The Shack, Tanner on his phone while Tommy's reading the ads.
Yes. To be
honest, actually, I'm just kind of realizing right now, the number of memes in here that actually didn't really have anything to do with lifting is actually pretty funny.
That's true. That's true. They're the ones that a lot of them incorporated our podcast sponsors too, which I think are funny. There's a lot of ground lock deadlift slipper memes in there for lifting large, and pretty funny one for Texas Power Bars. It was those slap contests. And it was the guy slapping the speed up 15 seconds when it started the buddy cap story.
Yeah, that was good. And I think maybe the breakout star that a lot of people wouldn't have guessed was the green breaking parallel shorts.
That was for sure. We certainly didn't see that one coming. Other formats I noticed that I like. I was wondering if anyone was going to utilize this Get Fit Gen throughout the verses. The verses did a versus on each of us. Then someone else also did a second versus on you because you took on Tommy Lee, which is as a man who's created a versus or two in my day.
It was well
those
done.
are well done. You took on Tommy Lee and Tommy Guns, and what did I take on? A tanning bed.
Yep.
And all good, all top to bottom. A correctly done Massenomics versus has 4
Yep.
criterion.
It followed the format. It didn't break the rules.
No, and then also a couple people did rookie cards.
Yep.
Scans did one as I think it was actually Massenomics, and someone did one as a Lift Shorts rookie card, and I liked that too. Seeing the old popular.
Seeing our very own formats come back, that was great. Lots of comments about when we talked to a guest from another country, Mr. Worldwide. That was good. I liked the pentagon, hexagon, octagon. My house is gone of the lift shorts. The one of us awarding our, because then there started to be, we got in on it even, Tanner. I saw the tanning bed one, and then I did the Tanner Baird and the Tannist Baird.
I did like that
and one. And then you came back quickly with the Juji Mufu diet one, which got us to finally get Juji Mufu to follow us.
That was the hidden gem of that one. He shared that one and followed us, so we're one step closer to having Juji on the podcast.
Yeah,
and that's also kind of a deep cut meme too, because we know where that came from. Like that was at the Arnold, where didn't someone come by and say, like when the year we had our booth at the Arnold.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Someone it was just a random person.
Or what did they make a comment in person, or was it on the Instagram page?
Maybe it was on the Instagram page.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember.
About Diet Juji Mufu.
Yeah, maybe it was on the Instagram
Someone made a
page.
comment about Diet Juji Mufu.
Okay, that's what it was. Yeah.
Or maybe we just made that up too. I don't know.
I know
somebody
we've
talked
said
about it before.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was an idea we had.
It was somebody that said Diet Juji Mufu.
And so that was good. That was really funny.
I'm awarding. I think just the one you made of me and the one I made of you are probably.
So that's what we're going to tell
everyone.
Going
to be the winners.
There was 5 winners. Our 2 were so good that.
So what would you like to
prizes.
select as your
as my prize?
Yeah.
I guess I'll just take the entire stock of lift shorts. I can do that as a part owner, right?
Yeah, that's true. Jokes on us. It's already all ours, but. Really, the joke's on you guys. I really like the unpaid interns meme, though.
There's a lot of unpaid interns, or like us manipulating the system to get people to do the stuff for us.
The good use of the astronauts one where it was the whole time already. What's the punchline of that one?
Here, just I have it right here. Okay. It's wait, unpaid interns were really the listeners the whole time? Always has been.
Always has been. The unpaid interns, yeah, that's great.
Tanner, a shocking number, though, of your face being photoshopped on things.
The good one of me at the graves. What is on the graves?
Yeah,
that's
okay.
Austin Turner. I think that was one of his.
It's so hard to find them all because there's so many in here. I thought it was towards the top, though. But yeah, there's one of you at a grave, and the angle of your head being photoshopped matches just way too good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't find it. Oh, here it is. Yeah, breaking parallel shorts.
Yeah.
And that one just matches up so good.
It actually looks like that's me. Like if you
like
show
if
that
someone's scrolling through a timeline, they'd be like, oh, yeah, that's Tanner.
I like Nate did a theme,
the
a meme
Park
theme. So it was, what was it? Massenomics Meme Park.
Yep.
And
just a bunch of Jurassic Park themed memes.
And that was that I really like that conceptually, like the idea of a meme theme for a whole a scroll of memes.
One here with just a funny punchline: when she sees your cool beans through your lift shorts. That's just really funny.
Good one. What another topic I loved was the Aberdeen magazine.
Okay, yep, I got that right here.
That was banging.
Yeah, so there was several about the Aberdeen magazine and their now infamous snub of the Massenomics podcast.
Yes,
and boy, it was not only were they funny, but they were even funnier because people were tagging the Aberdeen magazine in them, and that was just so the memes were so dumb. It was
yes.
Should you include the podcast that legit had a billboard in this podcast spotlight article? Aberdeen magazine? No, I don't think I will.
Also, the format, there was a lot of good ones is where it's the 3 people in an office and the boss asks a question and whatever the third person says, he gets thrown out the window. And like there's a good one for the Aberdeen magazine of that. It's like, which podcast should we feature in this? And someone said, The Coach's Wives? Yep. What is it?
Soccer, whatever.
Soccer Made Simple. Yep. And it's like the one that had a billboard. Nope.
Yeah, that was really funny. I also really appreciated the effort people put in to take well-known meme formats and Photoshop our stuff onto them.
Yeah, like good guy. Who's the?
Yeah, the good guy Greg
good guy
and Bad
Greg.
Luck Brian.
Yeah.
But even like the
Old school memes.
Yeah, old school memes. They were just photoshopping like someone would have clothing on it now. There's
Yeah.
a Lyft logo on
Yeah.
it, or there's a silly pint in the background. Like incorporating that stuff, and also like you said, the old school memes, like the
Yeah.
formats that like don't exist
It's like,
anymore.
oh yeah, why like that guy, like why
Yep. Like those ones, yeah. The good guy Greg, those things.
Who's the guy?
The penguin going both ways. I
Yeah.
haven't seen that one in forever.
Yeah.
Bad Luck Brian.
I forgot about some of those. Like that's what memes were when memes were,
Yeah, like I haven't seen a lot of those. The sticker, the Irma Gerd girl,
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
one. This one, we were laughing about this before the podcast. It was from Half Wookie, and it's Big Ed from 90 Day Fiance, just him kind of making the blowing face. And it's like,
Yeah.
Mills 85, do the royal blue shorts cost more? A7, no, haha. Mills 85 replies, hashtag not my lift shorts. A7, ooh. And what makes that, like, that's
Yeah.
funny, but what really makes that funny is
of the comments.
someone in the comments underneath this guy's meme wrote, the fuck I'm reading? And you look back on it and it's like, this isn't even English.
If you
But-
don't know Massenomics, it literally doesn't read as anything
it's
coherent.
just like the two commenters here, their names are A7 and Mills 85. Like neither one of those are names. And then the comments revolve around like no words and hashtags. Like, so it's a completely different language. Like you have to.
Massenomics Meme in that case especially like had become its own language that you only get it if you get Massenomics
Yeah,
and
you,
the
have to,
memes.
you have to be deep in it to know this stuff. And that's what's so awesome about it. Is like
Yeah.
it is in a life of its own.
Yes. Should we get to our
Oh, damn. Yeah, we should get to
winners
it.
in the
Whoa.
process?
Okay. So yeah, we got to speed this up do we got to speed this up just a tad, Tanner?
Yeah, we could get to the running down our winners and why we picked them.
Okay. I didn't know if our guest is.
I mean, we can keep Stan waiting. What's he got to do?
He's not a busy guy or anything. So okay. Our meme winners.
So in no particular order,
Yeah,
we
no
just
par-
picking
yep,
5
no
winners.
particular no particular order.
We
Tanner and I
had categories.
We run the show here, so we made categories
Yeah.
that didn't exist at the time, but we have made categories,
Sense.
and we have assigned
Yeah.
the winners based on our 5 categories that
Right.
we made, and there's a winner in each category. So the first winner, very well deserved, is the winner of the new meme category.
Yes, creating a meme that we didn't even know was a meme before we didn't even know it was a Massenomics meme before this contest started.
And that was Austin Turner
Yeah.
at Turner_Austin_. And he's winning the category for best new meme category for the breaking parallel shorts work that he did. It was some really groundbreaking work, Tanner.
It was, and other memers picked up it. All the other memers essentially picked up and ran with it. And all that does beg the question, will we have green breaking parallel shorts?
It does beg the question.
We don't have an answer today for you on the
We
podcast,
do not.
but it does beg the question.
Nothing is impossible.
But he went at it so hard that he willed that meme into existence. It would have been easy to do one meme and kind of nobody really respond and for it to die, but he didn't let it.
Yeah, and he had a lot
forced
of really good memes. Actually,
Yeah.
just looking through one, he made, I don't know, 60 of them or so. And also, like when I look through, we've already talked about several of his memes, like this Aberdeen magazine one, the one of you
Yeah.
at the grave, Tanner, one to simply not ride the line on overrated, underrated.
Yeah.
Several Django Unchained ones. Tommy and Tanner just casually creating a meme contest. Me making a whole new inside joke about the hopeful creation of breaking parallel shorts.
Yeah.
This one of you shaking Michael Scott's hand.
That was very funny.
Like he had some bangers,
Yeah.
and just the volume behind these is crazy. So
he's definitely a winner.
Austin Turner, you are a well.
You're a winner in our books.
All right, next on the category list, most memes, and who would have thought most memes? It goes to at Massenomics_memes, Josiah Richardson, 108 memes. That's
108
insane.
Massenomics
That is
memes
insane.
in that week.
That is insane.
Yeah.
That's a lot of memes.
Yes, so he was really pumping them out. Say it was 7 days long, 15 memes a day he was putting out there. 15
Tanner.
memes a
He's gonna,
day.
he's gonna come for your job.
No kidding. Yeah, I thought 2 was a lot.
And I mean, there's so many.
That's
from
why they call him an unpaid intern. That's why they call him unpaid
from like
interns.
the SpongeBob. He also has some breaking parallel to these Maslow hierarchy pyramid.
Yeah.
It probably is a food
Which
pyramid.
then
actually.
incorporates the breaking parallel shorts on top of it.
Corporate needs you to tell the difference between these pictures with the seltzers and
That was funny.
the ultra seltzers. I mean, there's a lot of great stuff here, and just the the number is really, really impressive.
Yeah, 108 memes.
We said before we started, we thought 100 would be a great number to get to. We didn't realize one person would do
Yes,
that many on their own.
right.
So very well done there at Massenomics_memes. In true Massenomics fashion, there's that race for first comment every week. Well,
Yep.
we're giving an award for first meme.
First.
And that goes to at Mostly Squat Videos.
Yes.
For
the Michelob Ultra.
no stranger to
yeah.
winning Massenomics contests.
Nope.
And yeah, that is for the Leonardo or the Django Unchained
Yeah.
Michelob Ultra.
Yes. Well, also a very good meme.
Curveball that I threw.
Yeah.
And it was a very good meme.
Yeah.
When I saw that, this is the first one, I'm like, whoa, this is the type of heat
Yeah.
people are bringing to this
Yeah.
thing. We're in for it. So that was number 3 on the list. Number 4, deepest cut. And at Professor_Steven, he had some really good memes, but he had a couple that only exist if you've been paying attention to Massenomics for a long time.
Right.
Or have listened to every single episode.
Yeah, he hit very deep cuts on his memes, which I just thought were like really. I really enjoyed them at how deep he was going. I'm like, man, this guy has been along for a long ride.
And probably the single meme that described the origin story of Massenomics better than any other one.
Yeah.
And it was the dominoes falling, and the first domino was it poor lifting conditions at the YMCA?
the Aberdeen South
And it's
Dakota
like,
YMCA.
man, he's got a point
Yeah,
there.
it's like that was the original domino. That
that domino doesn't exist. Like if the YMCA is a better
and
gym.
then the giant domino at the end was Massenomics, essentially.
Yep.
As it exists today, as we know
or
it.
was that the one that was interns?
There was 2 people
okay.
use that format. Yeah,
But
yeah.
still, it's like, damn. I mean, if you could describe this whole thing, like say, how did Massenomics start? And you said, I wanted to know in a meme format. There's probably not a meme that could ever explain that better than that.
Distills it pretty accurately.
That was really well done. And he also did have the
He had the Massenomics 45 jersey. He pulled out.
Oh yes.
He was
that's the
digging
one.
through some really old content to pull that stuff out there.
Yep, that was the one we were talking about.
Oh, and Tyler.
yeah, that's what it was. Yes. It was
what made girls cry, what make men cry.
what makes legends cry, and it was Tyler, episode 124. Tyler going
Tyler
into the
farewell.
Netherlands.
Yeah,
That was really funny.
yeah, yeah. That's very good.
And
Oh, Matt, one that still makes me laugh that Mostly Squat videos did of me was where it was like that 13 Reasons Why meme, and he goes that damn smile.
it was that smile, that damn smile. Yeah.
That's so stupid.
And it was one of your old business pictures.
Yes.
Yep, that was very funny. And are we ready for the fifth and final winner?
Final.
Fifth and final category goes to this would be the best Aberdeen Magazine meme.
Because there was some good ones.
In honor of the infamous podcast article.
Yeah.
And this goes to at Memenomics _numero_uno. And that was with the guy walking with his girlfriend, and he has his head turned looking at the other girl.
Yeah.
And it was
The other girl was his date was
the Massenomics podcast. The other girl was Soccer Made Simple, which is so funny.
Which is one of the other,
because it's such an insight. Like, there's
Yeah.
definitely people listening that this still doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
right.
But it's the whole thing of it's just such a perfect tie-in with that one,
Right.
with that one podcast episode, and Massenomics getting snubbed from our
that
own.
account did make other good ones too. Honorable mention in that category, I'd say old_man_stren, and he did the top 5 on the billboard.
Yes.
So he'd made the billboard of the top 5 podcasts in Western Northeast South Dakota.
And Massenomics
Was not on it, and it was even what was even on there, like number
Conspiracy
5.
Randy got on it,
Randy
we
was
did
on
it.
number 5, which is also you have to really know your
No.
layers of Massenomics
Yeah,
to.
and the greater Massenomics
Yeah,
universe
right,
to
right.
make sense.
And we had a lot of, quite honestly, we put together a list of like 11, and then we just had to whittle it
Yeah.
down to.
And to get to a list of 11 was quite hard, actually,
Right, right.
to be honest. Other honorable mentions we had on here are best Western Northeast South Dakota meme at Chris Hornick with his Spider-Man pointing
We're
at
pointing-
Western,
yeah.
Northeast, and South Dakota.
I did literally.
that
That
was
was
really
definitely in fair contention for winning.
Yep, we have best Tanner meme written here. Scott Dodds had an
The middle
amazing
class
one with the
fancy
middle
one,
class fancy.
yeah.
There was also
Hard to
many,
pick. There was a
many,
lot of good
many good
ones.
ones there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one we don't have that for sure,
No.
but that is a hard one. Best Tommy meme. Get Fit Jen had the great one. Also, my dog Bernie made several appearances.
I
and
really like the one where it's Squidward when I love this one actually. It's Squidward sleeping and it says Bernie.
Yep.
And then
it's like, here's the Buick pull up or
yeah,
something,
and
and
then-
the eyes are all bloodshot. And that is my dog so hard. There's even the one they have of him when he's sitting there with the headphones on podcasting. And
Yeah.
It's like, time to podcast. Like, I'll decide
yeah,
that.
Bernie made it in like and Nate made one of Bernie in like what's not Bitcoin but the
The Bernie coin.
Yeah, right.
yeah. So there was some really good ones there. It is at the point where my dog knows on Wednesday nights, my phone rings and he can just hear Tanner's voice and he already is just running to the door barking because he's like, yep, that guy's coming here now. I have to go wake up the whole house. So that was good. Another very good deep cut. At Above Parallel Memes had the Power Man 5000 salad dressing meme.
Yeah.
That was really
I really
funny.
laughed at that one. That was very funny.
When worlds collide, right, Tanner?
That's right. This is what it's like.
Worlds collide. We already talked about the best themed meme series.
Yep.
With at Nate561 with his Massenomics Meme Park. That was really funny.
Yeah. Very good.
So I think it's safe to say the contest was a smashing success. We loved it. We learned a lot about Massenomics. We even learned about Massenomics from it, Tanner.
We did.
There was a lot of stuff that happened. Tons of original content. I think it's safe to say this is not the last time we'll have a contest like this.
No, this was a smashing success.
I
without
think it was
question.
too fun for everyone involved.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Should we read some ads really quick
Yeah,
so we
we'll
get
do
our
that
guest
quick.
on?
Yeah.
Hopefully he hasn't abandoned us because
Yeah.
we're keeping him waiting so long. Today's show is brought to you by Lifting Large. Since 2004, Lifting Large has been providing lifters across the world with powerlifting gear from Titan Support Systems. Lifting Large has the largest in-stock supply on Titan wrist and knee wraps in the world. Lifting Large is home of the Ground Lock Deadlift Slipper, and they are always in stock and always ready to ship, and also a favorite of Massenomics meme creators worldwide.
That's right.
They have ER competition combo racks in stock and ready to ship. They are the only powerlifting supplier with live website chat support available during the weekdays, and you can get email replies to your questions in hours, not days like some of the other guys. They are now accepting Amazon Pay and Stripe for a quick and simple checkout, and once your checkout is complete, your order will ship fast with same-day shipping on most orders. Massenomics customers can use code MASS20, that's MASS20, to get 20% off Lifting Large branded products and also receive an additional 50 rewards points added to your Lifting Large account. Place your orders at liftinglarge.com, and you can follow them on Instagram at liftinglarge.com. That's at liftinglarge, DOTCOM. The Massenomics podcast is also brought to you by SPUD Inc. and the here we go,
hooker
Tanner.
strap.
Here we go. Nope, close. Try again. Deadlift belt. The deadlift belt is great for deadlifting because it doesn't cut into your hips or stomach at the bottom of a deadlift like some traditional leather belts might. The deadlift belt is made from a soft, flexible 2-ply webbing that has enough give to stay out of your way, but is as tough as any leather belt you've ever worn. The attached strap and ring make tightening and loosening this belt effortless, while the industrial strength Velcro keeps it tight while you lift. It also allows for a perfect fit every time. Great for all lifts too, not just deadlifts. Check out the deadlift belt online at spud-inc-straps.com. Got too many papers here, Taylor. Today's show is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. Buddy Caps first started lifting weights in the late 60s and began powerlifting in the mid-70s. At the time, he was working for Image Barbell building gym equipment. Around 1976, a local machine shop started making Olympic bars for them, calling it the Image Bar. In 1977, Image Barbell became Champion Barbell. It was then that Buddy started looking at the bars with an intent of changing them for the better. In 1979, Buddy bought his first lathe to begin addressing the known issues. In 1980, his passion, drive, and purpose now had a greater mission. Buddy set out on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he'd ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best knurling and was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, world, and Massenomics powerlifting records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more about Texas Power Bars and buy one of their legendary bars, visit texaspowerbars.com. And last but not least, this episode is brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. If you've been training without a coach and have been looking for a competitive edge, remember to check out hybridperformancemethod.com. Hybrid has 15 different strength and fitness programs covering everything from powerlifting and strongman to gymnastics and general fitness, all included in one training membership. That's not all. Hybrid also offers one-on-one personalized nutrition coaching that uses lifestyle habits and a flexible approach to shape your nutrition plan around your current lifestyle, instead of turning your lifestyle upside down in order to support unsustainable habits that only work in the short run the way most programs do. If you're ready to take your training, nutrition, or both to the next level, use code MASS in all caps, that's MASS, for 5% off membership to all programs for the life of your membership. Thank you to our sponsors. Let's get this show on the road, Tanner.
Here we go. We're going to dial up Big Stan. That's fast.
You guys there?
Yeah, Stan, you are on the Massenomics podcast with Tanner and Tommy. We're excited to have you on.
Hey, Stan.
Awesome. I should put my pants on then, right?
Oh, no.
Actually,
we got you right where we want you.
Yeah, that's you know what we're up to.
I didn't see the video camera. I figured I was good.
No, that's perfect. Yes, Stan, we are super excited to have you on the Massenomics podcast here. And a lot of times we do a little intro or a little background information on our guests that we're doing here, but we kind of talked about it and we really feel like you are a man that almost needs no introduction at this point. I don't think there's a single person listening to our podcast that isn't well aware of Stan Efferding at this point.
Yeah, I think if they waited for the Massenomics podcast to figure out who they are, then they'd have some bad things happen in their life.
Right.
My fellow meatnecks, my brothers in iron. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. But that is kind of a part of what we were talking about as we were talking about everything we want to discuss. It is a little tricky with you because you are doing and have done so many different things in the realm, the strength world that we're interested in. So that's one thing that we're kind of curious is what is it that's really your burning concern right now, or what are you working on the hardest right now? You've got so many different things that you have done. What fulfills a lot of your time today?
Well, of course, I've got two young kids, 7 and 9 years old now, so I'm really focused on them. But in terms of my career, I've kind of transitioned from doing many things throughout my life, from telecommunications company to an engineering firm to construction. Even have a couple medical marijuana clinics up in Washington. But now full time, I'm able to do what I've always wanted to do since I was studying exercise science in college and subsequently started personal training when I graduated, but wasn't able to make a living at it. And now with the advent of social media and all of the promotion that I've received, very grateful for all of that. I've had a chance to reach a large audience worldwide, and I'm trying to responsibly navigate helping people achieve their goals from all the lessons that I learned and all of the, all the coaches I've worked with and the collaborations I've had with great athletes. And so that was kind of been my big focus now, is just to keep learning and to keep providing good information. And I just help people, a lot of it's health oriented now. I know I work with some great athletes, but I also mostly work with people who just want to improve their health or their physical fitness, some weight loss and that. And as they age in their 40s and 50s, they want to have just more longevity and feel better. So I'm really focused on that. I partnered with a registered dietitian who's got a PhD in exercise phys, and we've gone over all of the information, in detail and provided lots and lots of scientific references to support all of the things that I promote. And I'm learning and I'm hopefully educating others now as much as I can. I'm doing that pretty much full time. That's all I do now.
Very cool. So will we see, we were before the show, we were talking about, some of your things that we've admired through the years. And one of the things that really came to mind right away for me was your Rhinos rants, your 10 talks. And those were a series that I think probably did a lot for you as far as marketing wise. I mean, they were, in my impression, they were very popular. I think they were well received. I always enjoyed doing those. Will we ever see a return of those?
Boy, I hope so. I've got some in the queue that I would like to work on. The problem is that I worry over those so much. I wanted them to be condensed and very informational and complete, and entertaining, and brief. I hate tuning into a 2-hour podcast and ending up with about 5 minutes of information and half a page of notes. So to me, that's a monumental waste of time. And so I really tried with those rants to give a lot of good information. And then I got to be honest with you, I kind of ran out of the big rocks, the things that I thought were the most important. Yeah. And they're not glamorous, and they're not, I don't know what you would call it, but a lot of the people on the internet today like to promote the next shiny object. And, some people tune into me and listen to everything that I've had to say. And then eventually they hear me start repeating myself, because that's what is most important. The sleep, the hydration, the nutrition, the training. I mean, how much further do you need to go? The blood testing, the gut health. Once I get past that, I just can't get all excited about, I don't know, any number of things that people tend to carry on about. So to be honest, I ran out of really important information. I've got a few things that I think I can still cover, but I just hate following the latest trend and talking about stuff that I think is majoring in the minors. I don't want to do that.
Right.
So that's probably why. But I've got a few. I'll do a few here over the next month or two. I'm sure of it. My brain's been working on some.
Cool. Well, I want to tell you, and I hope I tried to go back and find this, but there's enough of them and they're long enough that it's really hard to just remember where one soundbite is. But there's one piece, and I hope I'm not just making this up in my head, that really resonated with me. And I think you had one little snippet in one of them. You said the same things that make you successful in the gym, showing up regularly, putting in the work, are the same things that will make you successful in business. And that one really clicked with me. And I feel like, you try to remember that when you're as someone that runs his own business, and then Massenomics is also a second business. You kind of get in the grind, and some days it feels like you're not getting anywhere, but you do see, if you keep putting one foot in front of the other, that over the course of a year, 2 years, 3 years, it really does start to add up. So whether you said that one bit or not, or I'm just making up, I'm not sure, but I'll say thank you anyways. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I said any successful bodybuilder or powerlifter or athlete who spent a significant amount of time to reach the top of their sport, with the discipline, the time management, and the commitment necessary, the daily checklists of training and dieting, and for bodybuilding, tanning, and for prepping for competitions, etc. If anybody spent that kind of effort and directed it towards any income producing venture, I said they'd be a millionaire in 5 years. I absolutely believe that. It's about repeating successful behaviors, making habits out of them, and doing them every single day, however boring they may seem. Things like getting 8 hours of sleep, and taking your 10-minute walks, and meal prepping, and having those things available for you, and just consistently and progressively over time, committing yourself to training or business, you're absolutely going to be successful. We do get bogged down, like you said, in the day-to-day sometimes, and end up with a checklist full of things that don't necessarily push us towards our goal. And so we have to be cautious, again, about majoring in the minors. And the same thing happens in business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it is funny. Anecdotally, we can speak to how true that is. It sucks sometimes how boring of an have to tell someone that's what it takes, is just being consistent over a long period of time. It sucks for some people that's the answer, but it really is true, and it really does work.
And we find the longer you do it, the more you just see that there is no overnight success. Like, this is the one thing that changed it all. There are no quick tips or hacks out there, it seems like.
No, I'd like to talk about some of the little things that are, kind of the 1% to the cherry to put on top of the cake. And I just had a client yesterday call me from New Jersey, and he went on and on and on about all these problems he was having, autoimmune disorders, and his back was hurting him, and He had rashes, and he was trying all these elimination diets and these Hashimoto's protocols. He had hypothyroidism, and come to the very end of the conversation, and he's barely getting 6 hours of sleep at night, and he doesn't even know if it's good sleep, and he's got a lot of stress in his life. And that was really the driver. He's out shopping around and watching videos and calling me and trying to find out, can I take this 400 milligrams of magnesium here, or can I, try this supplement there? And at the end of the day, I was like, all of this stuff stems from the fact that you're probably only getting actually 5 hours of sleep a night. He had some sleep apnea issues. He wasn't stressing, and he was lethargic, didn't have adequate energy. He was having low libido and all of those things. And I'm like, wow, this guy's a hot mess. And bingo, come to find out, he's not sleeping enough. And that would resolve 90% of those problems.
Yeah. It's one of those simple things.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So another thing we were talking about is how good of a job, for at least from our perspective, it feels like you do of, I don't know if marketing is the correct word, but marketing yourself, your products, and basically everything that you end up being passionate about or getting involved in. From the outside looking in, it just feels like you do an exceptional job of that.
And you do, because the common path you see in this space is, I have a lot of Instagram followers. I'll make a post or two telling you to go buy my thing or take my coaching. And it's just completely dependent on the number of people following me, hopefully seeing it on Instagram. But not only are you have a presence on Instagram, you have a presence on YouTube with those videos we were already talking about. It seems like you're always on a podcast of some kind, talking about things. You've been on Shark Tank. Like you're in a lot of different channels. Like you're kind of all over the place.
So is that, I guess the question being, is that a method to what you've done? I mean, is that all very purposeful? I mean, does it all kind of fall back on what we were just talking about, that it is just consistency with all that over time, or how do you look at that side of it?
I wish I was that smart with marketing. I'll be honest with you. I was very fortunate to have done both bodybuilding and powerlifting, become an IFBB pro, and I partnered up with Flex, and Flex put me in touch with the people from Muscular Development, and they did a big 12-page spread, which was kind of what launched my popularity. And then right behind that, I started working with Mark Bell, and we were shooting YouTube videos at kind of the beginning of the YouTube's growth. And, the bodybuilding industry was much larger. And then to have coupled that with powerlifting, the powerlifters started to see, here's a raw lifter with abs, squatting 800 and benching 6. And it was kind of unique at the time. Now you got damn near every junior high school kid pulling 800 pounds at recess. And I'm like, fuck, it's crazy how strong kids there are out there now. But I was kind of fortunate to have been exposed to all that. And Flex Magazine picked me up with a big article and some regular, articles contributing to them. And then Mark Bell on the cover of his magazine. And all of that was kind of good fortune, to be honest with you. And yeah, I achieved some things that allowed me to get that kind of publicity, but it was unique in that marriage between powerlifting and bodybuilding, because I wasn't, a great bodybuilder. I got a pro card, but I never competed in the Olympia and the like. But people recognized me for that strength thing, and it was always something folks have been interested in. Ronnie Coleman and all that kind of stuff, and Johnny Jackson, the world's strongest pro bodybuilder. It was just kind of a perfect storm of events that transpired. And it was somewhat new at the time. Raw lifting wasn't really that popular. So I benefited from all of that. And then I'll tell you what was deliberate. What was deliberate is I started putting out a lot of free content. I wanted to give people as much information as I could. And I felt like that would come back to me, and it absolutely did in spades. I can recall when I did the seminar in Iceland with Hafthor Bjornsson. And my wife said to me, she said, it's a 2.5 hour video that goes over almost every single aspect of my vertical diet ebook that I was selling. I just put out to sell on my website. And my wife was concerned. She goes, you just gave them the entire ebook in a free seminar.
Right.
Who's going to buy the ebook? And sure enough, the ebook sales skyrocketed. And I think in retrospect, the main reason is because I can listen to a 2 hour podcast or a seminar, and at the end of it, remember about one thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
I've either got to watch it again or I've got to purchase their book that breaks it all down for me, gives me checklists and details. And so that's kind of what I counted on, was the fact that the recall on those things is not terribly good. But that kind of launch, it's got, I think, over almost 7 million views now, that video. And then subsequent to that, like you said, I had a ton of different interviews on other people's podcasts, and I put out the rants, of course, and I just tried to put out as much information as I possibly could. Matter of fact, I've given about 5 refunds out of tens of thousands of ebooks that I've sold. And one in particular was this guy from the UK, and he sent me an email. He said, Stan, I want a refund. And I'm like, why do you want a refund? He said, well, I didn't learn anything in the ebook that I didn't already get for free from watching all of the videos. And I was like, okay. And I gave him the refund happily. So, but the fact you'll get just about 100% of what's in my ebook by watching all of my videos and seminars and YouTube content. So it's there.
It's still different, though. I agree. There's still value, and we've both read the Vertical Diet ebook, and there is value in there's value in sitting down and reading something like that.
It's like you can go to a lecture in class, but if you really want to study it, you need the textbook to go over it.
Right.
Yeah, and it's a step-by-step program, of course, with a meal plan and a grocery shopping list. And then I put all those links in there, which I thought were really important. If I say something, I'm trying not to pull it out of my ass. I mean, anybody can give you anecdotes, but I usually reference what I think are very reputable, well-educated, credentialed professionals in the industry. I try and give the best information I can. And so in the book, I link other people's videos, articles, peer-reviewed published research, so they can take a deeper dive if they want to and see, how do I come up with these conclusions, because they're not always agreed upon by other people in the industry.
Right. Switching gears, a question I had was, we obviously, world's strongest bodybuilder, we were just talking about that, and all the success you had in powerlifting. I think you totaled, I don't know, over 2,300, or basically you were doing things raw that people didn't even understand at the time, and you were doing it in a way like, oh, this is what you can look like and be this strong. Like, okay, that's what we can do. It was revolutionizing it at the time in comparison to what powerlifting was like. But what I wondered, if at that point in time, we go back whatever you consider your prime is, if strongman had been something that you were extremely interested in, and we know you've gone on to work with Thor and Shaw and everyone else that you've worked with over the years, do you think you could have been competitive in the sport of strongman if that would have been something you were had a lot of interest in at that point in time?
I don't think so. I think I played around with it for a bit, and I'm kind of a small jointed guy. I've got these little deer ankles and my tiny knees. And all of those dudes have those massive knees and hips. They all look like Chad Wesley Smith or off the Jaws of the world. They have these enormous waists. I've always been a thinner guy, and matter of fact, when I get down to 250 or 260, I'm not nearly as strong as I am at 275, 285. Just a loss of like 30 pounds has a dramatic impact on my top end strength on all 3 lifts, to be honest with you. So I tried like hell to get as big and heavy as I could. A few occasions I got over 300 pounds, but it didn't translate into more strength. I was just as strong at 275 as I was at 305, to be honest with you. So I played around with it for a little bit, but it's also so dynamic. I don't think people appreciate how damaging that sport can be to your hips and knees. It is.
I appreciate that. Yes, I can. Yes, I.
Yeah, and look at Larry Wheels. I mean, he's
right.
The strongest people on the planet, and he's had really tough times tearing a hamstring, tearing a bicep. And I had that conversation with Larry, and when he was out here with Hofthor, as a matter of fact, some years ago, talking about strongman, we both told him, so Larry, you're going to need to get over 300 pounds if you want to be able to endure those kinds of loads, while moving, the dynamic nature of them. It's very different. And, he was probably 260, 265 when he was trying to do some of that. And he did some pretty incredible feats.
Right.
But it caught up with him and he started breaking down. I think more recently he just said he quit strongman. That's probably one of the reasons why. He too, like me, has smaller, wrists and ankles and knees. I think that's a tough sport on that kind of individual.
I think it's a tough sport for any kind of individual outside of the 10 guys that seem to compete in it at a high level.
Yeah, agreed.
What about this pop quiz? I don't know. We haven't been too silly yet, Stan, but we do like to get a little silly on every podcast that we do, and so we have a little pop quiz for you. Sort of a lightning round question. Time really isn't of the essence, but they'll be relatively short answers, and there is a right and wrong answer to each. So we'll correct you if you get it wrong.
Good.
But so we'll give you the pop quiz here now. So. We'll start here. What is the best diet?
The one you'll follow.
See, you're wrong. The best diet is detoxes. So, yes, good try. The one you'll follow. It makes there's some logic there, but it's actually detoxes are proven to be the best diet. So, like fit tea, that sort of thing. You can't go wrong with those.
I'll update that for the vertical 4.0 version.
Yes. Okay. Next one. Complete this sentence. Compliance is the
science.
There again, nice try. It's actually the favorite tool of big government to force the population into doing what they want them to.
Indeed. Wear the mask.
And then,
oh my God, real quick though, I know we're on lightning round, but real quick.
Yes.
On that note about wearing the mask, I just flew back from Miami. I was down watching the Steffi Cohen's meet down there.
Oh, you were there? Okay. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Oh my God, some freakish lifters.
Oh,
we were just talking about that earlier.
What one thing impressed you the most out of what you saw there?
I would say that I got to give you three top ones. Dan Bell's leather squat was ridiculous. Obviously, Jamal's total was outrageous.
Yep.
And John Hack's total was also outrageous.
Yes.
So really very impressive stuff. But I'm on my way back, and the stewardesses are starting to hassle this guy because he had his mask down. He was eating, and they said, "Well, you can take your mask down to take a bite, but you have to put it up to chew." And I was like, wow, where have we come from and gone to this? Crazy. To distract from the lightning round. But
no, that's
however you feel about it, that just seems like a really hard one to enforce.
Yeah.
Yes. No, that one last lightning one then. Finish this one then. Pizza, pastas, and
pancakes.
French toast is actually better than pancakes. So French toast. I don't know if it, what's alliteration? It doesn't have the same alliteration, but it tastes better.
Yeah. All about the flavor.
Yeah.
That's funny. You know, I trademarked, talking about my business acumen, I love to trademark shit.
You do? Okay, that's interesting. So have you, what are some things that you've trademarked? Like
I trademarked World's Strongest and Monster Mash. I have both of those trademarks, and World's Strongest Monster Mash is, of course, one of our products. But also, compliance is the science. I actually trademarked that. I don't know why, just because I thought it was pretty nifty, and I believe I was the first person to come up with it. So I trademarked that so I can, I don't know, make T-shirts and quotes, have you. So I'm so proud of myself with that one. It's little victories.
I'm not sure how you feel about litigation, but I'm going to have to speak to my wife about it. She makes what she calls for me quite frequently Monster Mash is the term she uses. And it's my ground beef and rice. And she always says the words Monster Mash because I trained her into that. And so I don't know how that's going to, if you're going to have an issue with that. But
not at all. She's welcome to use it.
So we have talked about a lot of the different things that you've done, Stan, ranging from a wide variety of industries and disciplines and over a pretty big time span too. What out of all of those things do you think was the most challenging to be successful at?
Goodness, I tell you, I haven't had any easy wins. I got to be honest with you. If I look back at my road to bodybuilding, starting back competing in my first show in 1986 of all time, and not getting my card until 2009. My powerlifting, I couldn't bench 135 when I was in college. I was 18 years old, and then to eventually bench 600. That was a long, long haul. My businesses were all very, very difficult. To the point where I had taken out loans and damn near went bankrupt, and to build those businesses, eating at McDonald's every day and sleeping 4 hours a night. I haven't had any easy wins. And I've had a lot of failures. I've run some companies that haven't done too well, and learned a lot of lessons along the way with that too. So, well, I tell you, it's hard. And since having kids, of course, I'm more risk averse. I won't,
Right.
mortgage my home again. I won't sign on the dotted line. I guaranteed all of my investments back when, and when the real estate market collapsed, I lost $20 million in equity overnight, practically. I
thought GameStop was bad.
No kidding. Yeah. I was building single family subdivisions, and I had multifamily properties and commercial, and I was fully vested in real estate at the time the market collapsed, and it just wiped me out overnight. And of course, I had personally guaranteed all of those assets with my homes and my car and my cars and my personal assets. So that thing came down like dominoes. It was a very challenging time. So I don't know. I guess I was supposed to be talking about something positive, and I dribbled on about all the challenges. But I've emerged from the other end, unscathed. I saw so many people when the real estate market collapsed in 08 and 07, or in 08 and 07 that jumped in front of trains and all that kind of terrible stuff. And it just, to me, it all was a game. I didn't grow up rich, and I was very successful, and I look at it as a game. To me, it's Monopoly, and it's just not that serious. And I think, now that I'm fortunate enough to have children, I can see what's truly important. And so, now my biggest focus is really on health, and I've turned that around. When I was at the end of my powerlifting career, I had all the problems that a lot of the athletes that I work with have. I had, fatty liver disease and high blood pressure and high blood sugars and a whole host of other problems. And so I had to start dropping weight and, getting healthier, and my joints were all fucked up. You guys have seen some of my videos on keys to pain-free knees, and I broke my back, and I had the hip issues, and 2 doctors wanted to do surgery and replace my hip. But all of that is now, I'm 100%. I feel fantastic. I'm recovered from that very well. So that's probably the most important thing that I've done throughout my career was to regain my health, my joints, my all of my metabolic markers, to where I feel like I'm positioned now for the long term to be a good example for a lot of folks. And that's kind of why I focus or key in on those things with my big athletes in particular, getting them healthy first and looking at how that can improve their performance long term. Did I even come anywhere close to answering the question?
We'll say yes. We'll say
it had to
yes.
have been in there somewhere. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you ever feel I assume for sure personally in your personal family life you do, but professionally with everything that you've been involved in, do you ever have the feeling of like total satisfaction with the things that you've done, or do you always feel like you're pushing for more?
Never.
Yeah.
There's always more. You always want to lift more. You always want to be bigger and leaner and faster and stronger and richer. And but it's interesting. I listened to a really interesting it was like a YouTube presentation. I feel bad now that I don't recall the name of the individual, but This Is Water was the presentation, and it was just absolutely profound. And they said that if you pursue wealth, you'll always feel poor. If you pursue how did this go? And now I'm forgetting exactly how it went. But it's just a matter of being dissatisfied if that's your primary focus is wealth or even knowledge or power. You'll always feel powerless, you'll always feel dumb, or you always feel poor if that becomes the primary driver of everything you do. And there's been many times throughout my life when that's all I was focused on, is how big I could be, how strong I could be, how much money I could make. And none of that made me satisfied. When I set the world records, when I got my IFBB Pro card, when I had millions of dollars and lived in a 10,000 square foot, $2 million home and drove a Rolls Royce. I was always dissatisfied and wanted more. And so that it's a very, very difficult road, because you have to be driven and goal oriented and driven to accomplish things. But the idea that it's a finish line that it's, like you say, the pursuit of happiness. It's not something that you ever catch or accomplish. So the process has to be rewarding. And that's kind of what I like, to go back to where we started with this conversation about where I'm at now, is that my day to day is rewarding. It's enjoyable. I feel like I'm helping other people. And to me, that's very rewarding, giving out a lot of information, and it returns to me in kind. I have done well with the vertical diet, with the meal prep, with the ebooks, with the seminars. I've certainly built that into a very successful international brand, but I still focus every day on what can I do for others.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah, and if you ever need an additional avenue business-wise, I think you mentioned in being involved in the medical marijuana business. Did you say Washington State?
Yeah, Seattle.
We're from South Dakota, and South Dakota did just vote to legalize medical and recreational marijuana. I mean, there's some roadblocks,
in the courts right now,
right? But eventually they'll come through. So we could be your foot in the door to get into that lucrative South Dakota medical marijuana market. So just don't forget about us.
We already have Massenomics. Grassonomics is the
logical next step.
Is the pivot point.
Right.
Oh, that's perfect. You guys better trademark that.
We shouldn't have even said it on the podcast, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm on the phone to my attorney.
Tommy, what do you think about playing our overrated, underrated game?
I think it's time.
Okay, so we have another little segment here for you, Stan. We call it overrated, underrated. It's not an overly difficult concept. The important thing to remember, we did handpick these topics specifically for you. Did you
steal this from Gary Vee?
I don't know. We have been doing this for a long time. We've been doing this for how long? We would have to look back and see when Gary Vee started.
And I don't know if you know, but we are the first people in the history of the world to do overrated or underrated. So it is ours.
What we would say is we have done it long enough now that when some of our followers see others do it, they accuse them of stealing it from us. But we can't rightfully say that we were the first ones to do this. I would say that for sure.
Well, Brett Contreras just started one, so I'll make sure and know that you guys.
We have at least been doing it for a few years nonstop, every week, every single episode. So
I'm excited. First time to play. So
okay, and what's special about ours is you have your druthers to answer as long or as shortly as you'd like on these answers. You can elaborate as much as you need to. Most important part, though, there's no riding the line. And really, the most important part is your entire performance on this podcast episodes comes down to how you perform in overrated, underrated. So,
best here, great.
A lot rides on this for sure. So, first topic: overrated or underrated? Not salt, pepper. We know your stance on salt already, so we really want to know pepper.
Yeah, I'd have to say overrated. I don't eat it. I don't enjoy it, so I'm going with overrated.
Are you a spicy food guy at all?
I'm really not.
Okay.
I teased like crazy on Mark Bell's podcast recently because I don't have a sweet tooth, and I was trying to explain to people that that I don't have a sweet tooth, and that was a problem for them.
Yeah. Is there any nutritional benefits to pepper that you're aware of?
I'm not aware of any. No.
Okay. Not much nutritional content anyway, I suppose, on pepper. Okay.
No, I never snorted it before a squat. I'll tell you that.
It's no salt. We know that for sure then.
Right.
Okay. Overrated or underrated Yeti coolers?
Boy, I don't know. I've never had one. They're too expensive. But
and you are a man in the cooler business,
right,
so
right.
Yeah, just the cost alone, I was like, these things must be amazing, but I'm not buying it. They're too expensive. But I'm a huge fan of, like I told you, I've got that thermos that I bought off Amazon. It's like $20 for a 24-ounce thermos, and I pack my meals everywhere I go. I used to carry around Tupperware, and I'd always have to find a microwave, or the food would get cold and nasty. And so the thermos has been life-changing for me. And then when I go on long trips, like I just got back from Miami, I took all my meals with me. I had obviously my meal prep frozen meals. So instead of putting a piece of luggage on the plane, I packed a rolling Coleman cooler because they're only $30.
Right.
And I put my whole weekend's meals in there along with some of my clothes and stuff, and duct taped that baby shut. And I checked it on the plane, and so I had my own meals. I know most people don't go on vacation and eat their own frozen meals out of their microwave, but because you go to a restaurant, you end up dropping $200 in Miami. So it's not a cheap thing, although for me, it's just the fact that I've told you I don't eat things I like. I eat things that like me. And I usually make that decision about an hour after I eat as to how fast I'm sprinting to the toilet or not.
Right.
But the one thing I hate about the Coleman rolling cooler is the lid doesn't lock. So I got to check out yet. They have a locking lid because tape it shut. Or if I put one time I put a band, like a workout band, one of those stretchy bands around it. And the frickin' luggage people grabbed the band as a handle and snapped it off. Frickin' lid popped open as the thing was moving around on the conveyor belts, and my shit started falling out all over the conveyors. So anyhow, yeah. You said you told me I could answer as short or as long.
But you also do have to have a final answer. So what was the final answer on Yeti coolers?
I'm going to say underrated because I'm going to get.
Okay.
We'll be on the lookout for the first ever Stan Efferding review on YouTube.
Yes.
Where you go in depth on cooler reviews.
Yeah. It might have just been because they're too heavy and it doesn't allow you to put enough. Because you have like a pound limit.
50 pounds, or whatever.
That's what I checked. I think I checked the weight of them, and they are heavier than like the little lightweight plastic Coleman coolers. That was the reason I realized I didn't have enough extra weight to put all my meals in there.
Makes sense. Okay. Overrated or underrated? FUBU.
Oh, I better say underrated. Yeah. For those who aren't aware, I'm partners with Damon John from Shark Tank, so I got to put a good word in for him. Who was underrated?
Yeah, we thought maybe you would say that on that one. What one quick question I had about Shark Tank? How real would you say, based on your experience, how real is what's presented on TV in comparison to your actual experience there?
100% real. I did a video called Behind the Scenes on Shark Tank. It's on one of my YouTube rants, and I talked through the whole thing from beginning to end, from my initial presentation to the people who select for the show, to 3 months worth of back and forth with financials and subsequent interviews and documents, etc., to presenting to the sharks who don't have any information on you. They have your name and the name of your product when you walk out there, and so it's completely raw. And you do your little 2-minute presentation, and then they ask you questions. And that Q&A section, it lasts for a few minutes on TV, but it's 30 to 40 minutes of actual time that they're asking you questions, grilling you under the hot lights with the cameras in your face. Very nerve-wracking. And matter of fact, when you leave there, they have a psychologist that has to sign off before you can leave.
Really?
Interview you and ask you questions and try and see what your demeanor's like, because some people, obviously you've heard stories, they've sold their home and they're living with their parents, or they've mortgaged this, that, or the other, and they go on there and it's a do or die. They put everything.
Mr. Wonderful tells them they're garbage and they kill it. And
yeah. The most interesting thing is that they play both sides of the field so that the editors at the end of the presentation, whether or not you got a deal or didn't get a deal, they could completely change the way the whole thing looks. So one time, Mr. Wonderful will say something shitty, and the next time he'll say something nice. And I started to realize it took me about 15 minutes to figure out that these guys are both playing both sides of this thing.
They're all doing good cop, bad cop.
Good cop, bad cop.
Yeah. Huh. That is how you talked about the due diligence through financials and stuff. I'm curious how much of that is done prior to you ever getting there, or when a deal.
All of it's done prior.
Okay, yeah. So when a deal is made on the show, is there still some additional due diligence that's done till a real deal is done, or is it pretty? Is that?
It's 100% repeated over again.
Okay.
Even after they make you an offer on the show, then you have to sit down and go over all that information again.
Right.
Before you actually have a deal. And the show has no ownership of that deal.
Right. Which is how it should be, I suppose. Like, that makes it more real.
Yeah. And what's interesting is I think something like 40,000 people applied. I think there was 200 came down to Hollywood to do to present in front of the producers. Only 80 actually went on the show, and only 50 were aired. I think those numbers are pretty close. So you can see it every step of the way, and they tell you right from the get-go. And you could actually present to the Sharks and then not get aired if something happened. So
Right.
you never know all the way through the whole process whether or not you're going to air. I was actually, I got to be honest with you though, I was pretty confident because of the uniqueness of the presentation, which you notice that they've now aired for.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you're on like every teaser they have. It
Well,
seems
and
like.
and not to discount your intellectual capacity in any way, because we know how intelligent you are, but you have a look that almost no one else coming on that show has, so that works in your favor. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was about eyeballs and just that whole lifting thing, throwing the dumbbell up and flipping the tire.
Yeah.
I told a whole story in there about how when I was setting up, that the producer of the show came up to me and was trying to reorganize my tire and my weights and all this stuff. And so I flipped around my cell phone and I showed him photos of where each camera angle was and why I positioned the things there. And he just looked at me kind of, awkward. And he goes, okay. And he went and sat down. And that was Bennett, right? That was the producer of the show. So
Yeah. Did you have to provide your own tire or any equipment, or did they have that stuff for you?
I bring everything down myself and haul it in.
Ooh.
I had a trailer there and I was unloading all my own weights. They didn't have anybody set aside to help anybody. There was a ton of us there and we only had, a few minutes to present. And we all presented on Monday to the producers on a concrete floor in an empty warehouse. And they had some folding tables and metal chairs set up for them to sit and watch us present. And then at the end of the day, we were told whether or not we'd actually be presenting to the Sharks the next day.
Right. Okay. Very cool experience.
Yeah.
Okay. Last topic for you on overrated, underrated, probably the most important, overrated or underrated, Mike O'Hearn.
I got honest with you, man. Underrated.
Yeah.
And it's not just because I'm friends with him and we go back 30 years and competitively in powerlifting and bodybuilding, but I was kind of relishing in my retirement after I stopped competing, and I was just sitting by the pool and picking my ass and eating bonbons. Mike wanted me to come down and work out with him, so I went down and worked out with him. And he kicked my ass all over the gym, and I was like, fuck. And and that's kind of when I did that video, Fuck Mike O'Hearn. And the whole sentiment of that was that he just kind of makes you feel bad about yourself. He sets the bar so high, and you've seen him recently. Dear God, he's just so shredded, and he's so big and strong. Mike's interesting because almost every accessory exercise in the gym, he will punish just about anybody that tries. A tricep push down, a bicep curl, a hamstring curl. He's so strong on all the accessories. He never reached world-class level in powerlifting. He didn't have that top end. He didn't squat over 80, he didn't pull over 80, he didn't bench over 6. But he had some damn good lifts, and he was very strong. But when it comes to all the accessory work, it doesn't matter what it is, I couldn't keep up with him for the life of me. And it was embarrassing. So I went home and I actually started training harder so that I could challenge him to that squat challenge some years later that we did up at Gabe Moan's gym in Seattle. And I'm still waiting for the phone to ring for the next time he wants to challenge me, because I'm training my fucking ass.
He is he is a guy that
Amazing.
doesn't seem to age either.
Yeah, we had the opportunity to interview him really quick at the Arnold one year, and surprisingly charismatic too for people that aren't familiar with
the
him.
comment I believe we made, that we've interviewed you in that capacity at the Arnold before as well, Stan, and we did the same thing with Mike before, and I believe we got done with interviewing Mike one time, and we kind of made the comment, wow, a guy like that makes it so easy. Like, you go into this, sometimes it can be hard with some people, but he just
he has a way of just making it natural and fun.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, super nice guy. Anybody that's met him and knows him loves him. He's just absolutely just to the heart. Just a wonderful, wonderfully nice guy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good news, Stan. I believe you passed overrated, underrated. So excellent news. Today.
Awesome.
Yeah. That draws us to the close of what we wanted to get out there. I guess where would people find you and find everything that they need to find about Stan Efferding?
Yeah, everything's at Stan Efferding. My website is stanefferding.com. My Instagram at Stan Efferding, and my YouTube, Stan Efferding. And I have tons of free content and videos, the rants and all of that are all on there. So anybody needs anything. Plus, a lot of people DM me, and I've responded to over 50,000 DMs in the last 2 years.
Wow.
I think that's how you guys originally got to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I spend probably better than an hour every day, as fast as I can, trying to reply and, maybe copy and paste an article or, do the best I can. That's one of the things that has really, I think connected me with a lot of people all over the world that have been very loyal. And so certainly if you have a question or need some, I hate saying this because then I get more DMs.
Endless cycle.
Yeah, I did that tour this summer. I did 60 cities in 60 days.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
I hit every state in the lower 48 plus Washington, D.C. And a lot of people, there was over 4,000 people attended nationwide. And so many of them, the vast majority of them, had already purchased my ebook, have already seen my videos, and just sat there and watched me repeat myself. And came up afterwards and thanked me. And most of them would say, yeah, I DM'd you. And I'm like, did I answer? And they're like, yeah. And so always kind of proud of that. I do my best,
That is cool.
That's an impressive stat for sure.
That is very cool.
Thank you.
Well, we loved having you on, Stan. This was awesome.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thanks, you guys. I love the games, man. That's great. I'm going to get better at those for next time.
And then just let us know whenever you're ready to take the leap into Grassonomics here in Northeast South Dakota.
That's right. I'll be taking my cut.
Okay, excellent. All right, thanks, Stan.
Thanks, Stan.
It's good talking to you.
See ya. Wow. Well, Tanner,
what would you give Stan?
I think we know what goes on here.
Cool beans. Cool.
He gets the cool beans.
He definitely gets the cool beans. Stan, just like what we were talking about, Michael Hearn is another guy that is very easy to talk to.
Yeah, he is.
And
he has a ton of perspectives, done a lot of different things.
Yeah.
We didn't really even talk about lifting at all in that.
No, we mentioned it was one of the many things that he's been very successful at over his career, but certainly wasn't the highlight of this discussion. There's so
too much
much
other stuff to talk about.
There is so much stuff to talk about with someone like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun. And he's one of the guys that, when we first started getting more into the powerlifting side of things, he was one of the first people you knew about at the time.
Actually, an interesting story about it, and it was thinking about it as he was describing about it, and I didn't bring it up. We had moving in other directions, but when I was in Kuwait in 2009, that's when I was starting to. I had already been in the gym for like a year or two prior to that. Mm-hmm. But in that 2009, 2010, when I was overseas, that's when I started to understand deadlifting, that's something I should do other than just benching. And then I was like, squatting, I should also do that. And that was right that period when I was just figuring out I deadlifted 5 plates for the first time. And I'm like, I need to also be squatting. I can't just deadlift and stuff and that was like a revelation for me over that period of time. And at that point in time, the internet obviously existed. Our internet was very bad.
It was just such a different internet.
Well, and where we were at, really, we didn't have good internet. And even for what the internet was 15 years ago. But I subscribed to 3 different lifting magazines. I had Flex magazine. I don't think I describe, what did I say? Describe? I subscribed to
your prescription.
Yeah. I don't think I subscribed to Muscle and Development. I might have. I had 2 or 3 different ones. Flex was one of them. I'm missing one in my head that I know I had. But anyways, it was a lot about bodybuilding stuff. So I was super interested in Ronnie Coleman at the time, and I wasn't really into powerlifting, and powerlifting didn't exist the way it does now, what we like. But anyways, I remember World's Strongest Bodybuilder, Stan Efferding, him going against Johnny Jackson, and like he said, they did a spread on him, and they did Flex magazine did multiple runs on Stan, and by the end of it, I was like, oh, this guy's strong and he looks like that. I was like, this is the guy
This
that
guy's
interests me.
the real deal.
Yeah, I'm like, this is the guy that.
So you actually did have the magazine that
Yeah.
night?
Oh
Okay.
yeah. And I remember those, like him having some black and white covers and like, and us talking like, and it's like shows Stan's workouts and it's like, holy crap, he's doing dumbbell tricep extensions with like 200 pounds and like just the weights he was using in comparison to the other just bodybuilders in there. And like, that's where I transitioned to be like, oh wait, no, that's what's really cool. Like there he is like deadlifting 800 pounds. I'm like, that's what interests me, you know, not so much the bodybuilding side of it.
Yeah.
But that really was like,
that is cool.
Kind of like inspirational to what I wanted to start to do at that point in time. And really during the time exactly when he was talking about it there too.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
And that's really what we had. Like, that's what I had was, seems like talking about the Stone Ages now.
It is so funny because because this thing called Instagram didn't exist yet, or YouTube really.
Facebook existed, but in 2009, Facebook was, what was that farming thing?
Oh, Farmville?
Yeah, Farmville. That's what Facebook was.
And the
like,
same thing. YouTube existed, but YouTube was just like really weird little videos at the time.
Well, and even powerlifting existed, but powerlifting wasn't like what I think of it as today. You know, it's,
we were just laughing today. Power Unlimited's playing in the gym. It's like, what year is this? Actually, I want to know that answer right now. What year is the video Power Unlimited from?
Because the powerlifters in there.
Because when you watch it now, you're like, all of these people are morbidly obese and can't move around. Like they don't look anything like athletes. Like they're strong, but also by today's standards, they're not that strong.
Like that. I mean, take someone like Dan Bell. Now, you know, he has a better look to him and is significantly stronger than what they were at that point in time. At least the people, and we know the movie well because it airs on repeat in our gym. It's one of the movies in rotation, and it's a good movie, but it's just crazy how the look of those lifters has changed that much over not that long of a period of time.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out.
There's probably not a lot of info.
There's not. First, I typed in Power Unlimited movie, and all that's coming up is a movie that's not Power Unlimited the movie.
Funny about it, have I ever told you the story of how we got that DVD?
No, I think it's from like 2011-ish.
That's what would have been my guess. So we were aware of that, and you can find Power Unlimited on YouTube. I think the full movie is on YouTube.
2007, I think, actually.
Okay. And that makes sense.
Yeah,
that
2007.
probably makes more sense.
2007, according to this post on Reddit.
You can watch the full movie on YouTube, but we needed a DVD copy of it so we can play it on repeat at the gym.
Yep.
Like we have West Side versus the World and Born Strong. So Ross from the gym, he found, I think through Wikipedia, found like the guy that made the movie and found his email address and emailed him and said, hey, where can we buy a DVD? Because you could, like, there was nowhere to just find the DVD.
There's no store with it on it.
He got a hold of him, and the guy said, let me check sometime. I think I have a box of them in my attic. Then this is the guy that made the movie. He's like, I think I've got a box of them. I'll just send you one. And he didn't get back to him for a while. I think Ross emailed him again. He's like, oh, yeah, I'll send you one. So he
just
mailed us. Yeah,
did he have to pay for it?
I don't think he paid for it. I don't think he wanted money for it.
Well, there you go, people. If you want a Power Unlimited DVD, it's pretty much a collector's item. You just email the guy and he'll send you one for free.
Yes, yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that was the story behind it.
Kind of a funny story.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I seriously thought she just like hopped online and bought it because that's how you get anything, right?
Right. No, not Power Unlimited.
Wow. You got to know a guy.
You got to just talk to the guy that made the movie.
You have to know a guy.
Yeah.
The guy that made it.
And it's funny, like the way he made it sound like, I think I've got some of those around somewhere.
I think I remember that. Yeah. Wow. I don't even really remember how we got to that point. But
just what Power.
I'm talking about how people used to look.
Yeah.
And how Stan was the outlier.
Oh, big time outlier. My God. That's a good interview though.
That was really cool.
Yeah. Did we have to circle back around to anything like I think we really did probably cover the meme contest pretty well.
I think so, yeah. Really, if you want to know more about it, just look at the hashtag. That could keep you busy for a long time.
Yeah, the one asterisk I was at is there's a ton of funny ones that we didn't mention here today, and not because we didn't think they were funny.
It's just
there was 400 and some. Like it's like I can't.
And a good part of memes is the visual part, not just hearing us talk about them the whole time. So,
but what if you haven't done, go on Instagram and just search hashtag Massenomics
and
memes.
really thank you to everyone that competed.
Awesome.
It was a ton of fun. We will for sure do another one of these. I'm not sure how we're going to ever narrow it down in the next one because
it doesn't it really make you feel good about the Massenomics support though?
Oh,
where you're just like,
it's awesome.
Where
and the fact that people know more than what happened in the last 2 episodes,
right? And I do really get the feeling like, oh, we really do have something here. Where I'm like, because sometimes I'll forget and be like, I can see the analytics and stuff, but it's like
we're just over here doing this again, like we do every week.
And then it's like, oh no, wait, people are
it's
really
not totally for nothing.
That's right. Oh, it is very cool. Should we hear from today's sponsors?
I
again?
think we should.
Today's show was brought to you by SPUD Inc. The goal of SPUDing Straps is to make products that support sports performance and help everyone achieve their training goals. They make products that last forever, won't bust your budget, and most importantly, leave no doubt about success when everything is on the line. Check them out online at spud-inc-straps.com. And this episode is brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. They're your one-stop shop for all things fitness and online coaching. Whether your goals are training related, nutrition and body composition related, or both, Hybrid has a program for you. With dedicated and experienced coaches in each strength and fitness discipline, you can rest assured that you're in the best hands possible. Use our discount code MASS, M-A-S-S, in all caps, for 5% off any training or nutrition memberships for the life of your membership at hybridperformancemethod.com. When I start reading this one, don't slap the 15-second ahead button like in that meme. This episode is brought to you by Texas Power Bars. In 1980, Buddy Cap set on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he had ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best knurling, and it was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, Massenomics, Stan Efferding, and world powerlifting records have been and continue to be set and broken on the legendary Texas Power Bar. Learn more at texaspowerbars.com. We may have mentioned this one last week, but it was the one. Yeah, we did talk about it last week where it was someone on the podcast brings up something like they're talking about very serious.
Tommy says, wow. Tanner says, so would you like to play our game?
We do that.
Yeah. Well, you have to keep the damn thing moving.
Right. Lifting Large. Lifting Large has set a new standard for customer service within the strength world. They have live website chat support and speedy email responses. Lifting Large is home to the ground lock deadlift slipper, and they are always in stock and ready to ship. Massenomics listeners can save 20% on all Lifting Large branded deadlift slippers by using discount code MASS20 at checkout.
Tanner, I do have some live feedback.
Oh, I do love live feedback.
Keith Honeycutt wanted me to tell everyone that they should not buy our hats.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So you posted something and he saw that we were recording the podcast.
Start of us reading the ads in the very beginning, and he said, don't buy our hats.
Thank God someone brought it up. I'm sick of reminding people, but seriously, people have been buying our hats and it's becoming a problem. Yeah. Do not.
Would you say it's really grinding the knurling on your Texas Power Bar?
Yes, it's grinding it down to smooth because do not buy our hats. So, I mean, we've gone over all the many reasons why you shouldn't, but please don't buy our hats. Please don't buy our hats. What you can do in lieu of buying our hats is sign up to become a supporting member of the podcast, which I would say they've been just popping off.
They have.
The people that are coming out to support the Massenomics podcast and come into within our circle of friends.
I guess everyone that likes Massenomics is a millionaire because the amount of money they're giving to us is offensive.
It is offensive. We appreciate it though. It's an offensive and appreciated amount of money. We really have been getting quite a few new supporting members, which is super cool.
It's always really, whenever we get that email, it's like, oh, that is how someone feels. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yes. I was just thinking of a meme with like a Venn diagram of supporting members and something else. I don't know what else it is.
Okay. Yeah. I see what you
No Venn diagram memes in the contest. I think that was a oversight on some people's part.
Maybe we'll make the next contest be a Venn diagram contest. Really limit people. Test the creativity.
Really put the constraints on people. Be like, yes, you all try to come up with something different.
That's what you have to. You have to really limit it.
Other thing that we haven't talked about, and we can't spoil the surprise yet, but we had the big road to 300 that we hit and achieved. We're at like 310 now, of course. We do have something big. The wheels are beyond in motion.
Things have been put in motion that cannot be stopped at this point.
Right, it cannot be stopped. You could not stop it now. And it's going to be very, very good.
Yeah,
I'd say we're pretty proud of what we've put together on this, right?
we are pretty proud. I mean, I would just say, not to spoil anything, but I just saw you post earlier today, Tanner, that Tim Ferriss has a billboard.
Oh.
Tim Ferriss, come on, pat yourself on the back, man. What is your business worth? Millions of dollars, and you bought a billboard in the middle of Ohio,
right? Like,
okay, come talk to us when you spend a significant amount of.
Relative
to your business size on a billboard in the middle of nowhere, and then make it goofy. Like,
right.
Come on, Tim Ferriss. Try harder there, man.
Kind of like, I don't know. I think that's even what I said.
Like, you're tooting your own horn a little too much on that
it's
one.
like,
Look how wacky we are.
Right.
Real wacky, Tim.
Yeah. What is Tim
Go
Ferriss?
back to your 4-hour work week.
Is he good or?
I think he's I think he's one of the guys
Overplayed.
that sells the what do you call? He sells the idea more than the actual thing.
Right.
I mean, I get what he's the whole thing.
Where does he fit in Gary V chart?
They're kind of different because Tim's thing, actually, I could be totally wrong because I don't follow him that close, but his whole thing is the 4-hour work week. You get a business where you can offload all of it and make passive income. And I'm like, well, outside of like 2 businesses in the world, there's nothing that's truly passive.
True.
That's not.
Right.
It's just, I don't know anyone that does anything meaningful that really is in a truly passive business.
Right. Well, and sure, okay, if that's a goal of yours, that's not going to be achievable by a large portion of people, I don't think.
Well, it can't
not to
be.
poo-poo the parade.
Just by the way,
Right.
numbers work, it can't be achievable by most people.
Right. Yeah, right.
But Tim Ferriss fans listening right now will say, well, that's the wrong attitude.
Right.
I'm probably too negative on that stuff. I just don't like anyone that sells like ideas like that. I can't stand it.
But I think it's exactly what you said, though. They're more involved in the selling, like, how did you phrase that? They're more involved in the
selling the idea than actually selling. It's the idea of you can be rich working 4 hours a week. It's like, who doesn't love that idea? It's like also, who doesn't love the idea of getting fit, not working out? Yeah. It's I guess it's maybe technically possible, but 99.999% of the time, that's not how it works.
Yep.
Our friend Stan that we had a podcast with tonight
we
would say
that's
otherwise.
not, right. Yes. So Tim's is meh.
On Tim.
Yeah, but we got something that's not meh. It's cool beans.
Yeah.
It's seagulls screaming cool beans. A lot of people utilize the red button, blue button meme.
That was pretty. That was a pretty popular one.
Blue button.
Yep, that was in there a lot.
In there. Is that it then?
That's probably
Don't buy the hats. Do the supporting membership.
Massenomics.com/join. Yeah, leave us a review. Tell a friend about the podcast, and also go buy some of our new shirts.
Oh yes, the new shirts that are out. Glad. Don't get a hat to go along with them.
Don't hit the hat button while you're in the cart. There.
Don't even do it on mistake. Someone threatened that they were just going to buy one of every hat, and I was like, "You don't do it." Someone do get a tattoo though.
Yeah, we don't have any of those yet.
Someone got a big
crazy
lift evil
tattoo.
Really big. I'm almost shocked that someone does not have a Massenomics tattoo. But as soon as I put that out, the same thing happens every time. Like 5 people are like asking questions, like, "Oh, what does it have to be? Like what can it be?" And like my general thing is, you have to look at it. A general person that understands Massenomics has to look at the tattoo and say, that is a Massenomics tattoo.
That's Massenomics.
It doesn't necessarily have to just be the Massenomics logo.
You don't have to like put the OG logo on your chest like you have the shirt on.
Right, but you have to, a person with common Massenomics sense has to look at it and say, oh yeah, that's a Massenomics tattoo.
And people with common Massenomics sense can take a pretty big stretch and make things work. So
Right. But there's always these people that all show up and say, yeah, like express interest. Nobody's done it yet. And what I also told a few of them today is nobody remembers the name of the second man to walk on the moon.
You're absolutely right.
Quit stalling because nobody remembers the name of the second man to walk on the moon. It's the first.
It's going to be really weird when next week 10 people all got Massenomics tattoos.
Like, well, who did it first? It's nobody cares about the second comment on the YouTube.
The second comment does not matter. It's not the race for second comment.
No, it's the race for first.
Yeah. That's probably it. Other than, tell someone about the podcast. Get some more people involved in these inside fun jokes.
We've also been seeing great numbers, great growth on the podcast, which that's exciting. I get pretty excited when the podcast is showing the momentum that it's doing. That's I mean, I like seeing our sales of apparel. That's also very cool. You know, that's like immediate money in our pocket, so to speak. But when the podcast shows,
it's like we're planting a little seed. And
Right.
that seed's going to grow into a tree,
And then
that buys our stuff
Yes.
one day. That seed's going to grow into a money tree
Yes.
that delivers money to us.
right. All right. Tommy, where do they find you at?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
You can find me at Tanner_Baird. Don't buy our hats, but please do follow us at Massenomics.
See you.